authorizing an establishment of religion, of church and state, of church and state, of church and state, of church and state, separation of church and state, separation of church and state.
Yeah.
Do we have to?
It's pretty awesome.
It's all good.
This is actually the costumes we wore when we did the Bill of Rights piece. You know, we had to wear white wigs because, you know, that's the founders. And we were standing on a barefoot on an American flag. So that was originally how the poem was intended to be performed. All right, so, all right, that's that. I don't know if it made any difference. We've been reading that poem for a long time, and it still hasn't made any difference. Okay, so, oh, Jimmy Page. All right, so this is a really old poem, and I don't even want to tell you how old the poem is, but it's old. And I don't know if does anybody here even know who Jimmy Page is?
Of course.
Yes, we did get to that.
We got to that point. Yeah, that was the signal. It's time to go. All right, no, okay. So anyway, this poem is called "Jimmy Page Loves Lori Maddox." I don't think we need this kind of anymore. This is a picture of Jimmy Page and Lori Maddox. She's 14 and they're in love. He met her by the side of the hotel pool. Red wine goes good with Quaaludes. Mrs. Pamela said, she
I was
used
the
to
first
be
chick in
one.
America he
She
ever
used to
loved.
tell us all about it.
She went everywhere with him.
She went everywhere he wanted to go. But that was all the girls used to do. And all the girls ever wanted was to go with Jimmy Page everywhere and go everywhere Jimmy Page wanted to go.
This is a picture of my best friend, Lori Maddox. She's like really cute. How old? What? She's 14. We're both 14. In this picture, she's still a virgin and everything, but she, you know, she goes out with Jimmy Page, and so of course they sleep together. But he really loves her. And that Miss Pamela is jealous. But I mean, she's been around forever, right? I mean, she's like from the days of body paint, right? So when he starts coming on to Lori, right? Miss Pamela flips out.
And so they meet up in the ladies' room, but then there were like 6 of us with Lori, so then it was like, I'm gonna fuck you up later, you little bitch. I'm gonna wait till you leave here tonight, and you're gonna wish you never got yourself mixed up in this, because Jimmy Page loves me, got it, me.
Oh, fuck you, you blown out. What the heck is the guy who lets you property? He's not a piece, he's not your piece. And if he's so much in love with you, he's not sitting with you. How is she coming on to me? And keep on 10 times prettier than you ever were.
And we thought Miss Pamela was the pits, and she hated us and wanted to fuck Lori up in the worst way. But Jimmy Page just would not back off her. Lori Maddox, I mean.
And there were all these rumors going around.
Don't you know what those guys do? Don't you know what those guys do to girls? Don't you know what those guys did to that girl Lisa? They tie you up, they slap you around, they put fish up your pussy, they get you drunk and you pass out on the floor, and they all fuck you and then they leave.
Still, they're really all right, and you know, everybody really wants to be with them, right? All the girls ever wanted was to go with Jimmy Page everywhere and do whatever Jimmy Page wanted to do.
This is a picture of Jimmy Page. He has this gleam in his eye that is kind of, well, not nice. But you can see why girls used to fight over him. And he likes watching them fight over him. He loves it when girls fight over him. Sometimes they would hand each other right on top of him as he lay there in bed, naked, waiting. They would be screaming, hair pulling, he's watching, they dig their fingernails into each other. They would be screaming, sometimes they would hand each other right on top of him as he lay there in bed, naked, waiting.
They would be screaming, sometimes they would at each other right on top of him as he lay there in bed, naked, waiting. They would be screaming, oh, my friend said he's a pig!
He will beat you up.
He hates women, he's got a whip, he knows how to use it. Sure, he's a rock star, but he's not a nice guy, he's got real problems.
He will beat you black and blue.
He will make you look so bad. Well, no way. Jimmy Page knew about romance. He's an angel, so sweet, like a girl almost. He cried a lot when we were alone. He was so much nicer than the boys at school. He always had candles burning in his hotel room. It was always dark. He was so quiet and nice, not like the others. All that wild stuff they did just made him laugh. He told me he had magic powers. I know he did. He said, all you gotta do is say my name and your wishes will come true. Jimmy Page, Jimmy Page, Jimmy Page, Jimmy Page, Jimmy Page, Jimmy Page, Jimmy Page. He was so beautiful. He was perfect. He was always a gentleman. He even called my mother up and introduced himself and everything so she would know where I was spending the nights. She wouldn't worry.
Jimmy Page, Jimmy Page. Right there. Here.
I'm so sorry, guys. He even called my mother up and introduced him and everything so she would know where I was spending the nights and not worry. She knew about it, what he was supposed to be like. What the papers said. But when he called her up, she liked him right away, and so she said, it's all okay by me. And like, what was she gonna do anyway? I stayed with him the whole time. He locked me in. I mean, he had to lock me in because I was his. I was his secret, right? Like, I was too young to be there, so they couldn't let me out where anybody might see me. And he was so beautiful. It was so exciting. It was so romantic. About 1 million girls in LA would have killed to be locked in that hotel room like I was.
All the other girls wanted was just to use him. All the other girls wanted was just to say, I slept with Jimmy Page. I slept with Jimmy Page. Groupies used the guys like that all the time. But Lori Maddox really loved him. Lori Maddox really loved him. And she stayed locked up in that hotel room where 1 million other LA girls wished they could be. But she was there because she loved him. And Jimmy Page loved Lori Maddox. So he took her along when the tour left town and locked her in hotel rooms all over the West Coast. And the other women laughed about it and said, where's the little girl hidden? Nor stick that cheerleader back in her cage. But they just said it because they were jealous because Jimmy Page never even looked at them. All the girls ever wanted was to go with Jimmy Page everywhere and do whatever Jimmy Page wanted to do.
This is a picture of Jimmy Page and Lori Maddox. She's 14 and they're in love. He is a bachelor, beautiful, hip-swinging monster. He met her by the side of the hotel pool.
Here they are again, downing red wine and quaaludes in a candlelit hotel room. If you could hear what they are saying, you would hear him say, where do you want to go? And her say,
anywhere you say.
And him say, okay. And you would hear her call the quaaludes,
quaaludes.
And him call the quaaludes,
mandrax.
And you hear her call the quaaludes, quaaludes. And him call the quaaludes,
mandrax.
And you hear her call the quaaludes,
quaaludes.
And him call the quaaludes,
mandrax.
And you hear her call the quaaludes,
quaaludes.
And him call the quaaludes,
mandrax.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Everything I've ever written is in this book, and there's a little card over there where you can get all my books, and this is called Homo Park. Sat in Homo Park listening while two straight-acting black Jamaican men talked of batty boys and their approach to cocksucking, ass-fucking, tongue-flicking, dick-licking, romancing the shit stick. They turned out to be boy lovers after all. 30 years of homo spotting, and I still can't tell who's a friend of Dorothy's. Mouths full of drool, left lapsing into boy coma, the parade passes by. A mismatched mix of sassy sissies, hip-hop homos, blowjob banjee boys, self-glorified gifted sisters of drag with tasty tatas and silky soft culos, and old men in the bushes rattling out the destinies of lifetimes. You never know where they might show up, so you look around every corner asking, where is my all-American homosexual sock in the Jock Calvin Klein homo hero dreamscape, hoping against scream scrape at the first utterance of word. Don't talk of recipes, cooking flambés. Don't talk of fashion, fuck me. Don't talk of trips to Fire Island Pines. Don't talk of hairstyles, fuck me. Take a short, fast trip to paradise with hard oil bodies pumped into desperation and reaching out for reassurance and ardent approval. Men melting into men, mouths in deep siempre, finding loose words of love to swallow in the moment while whispering dreams of a possible future together. Oh, where is my homo hero, walking a balance beam of reflected perfection, perfected reflection, and shattered in a sputtered moment of better lighting and truth. I see check, check, checkerboard and blue jean blues, and it's the same old salami on white, wrinkled rye with cheese and ripe for action. Faded spirits trapped in faded bodies, being led down the same trodden, barren, boring pathways as though still in search of a treasured butterfly of rare occurrence, elusive as time, and slipping away like a lazy afternoon in Homo Park. They were two boys from the neighborhood. I never knew their names. A heavy-set white trash one with bug eyes and a fat dick who stood idly by while the other, the one who'd done this before, showed me how. His long, skinny, hairless torso leaning into me, I could smell it. Then I could taste him. Let me taste it, I said. I already knew how it seemed, or was I simply remembering? The moment of first touch, already a memory, as time sped by into a new rhythm. Squeeze and pull and jerk it. Let me taste it, I said. I already knew how it seemed, or was I simply remembering? I found the rhythm right quick. Watch me come, Bug-Eye squealed. Mr. Know-It-All's hand on the back of my neck, pushing my head down towards his groin, those full, hot lips whispering in my ear, yes, 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 yes. And then the taste of cum on salty virgin lips. Nothing was ever the same again. This is called Word Up, and it's out on a new album with Dimitri from the band The Light, with music by Dimitri and me performing this piece. And you can find it online if you look hard enough. This is about those certain words that come out of nowhere. Words so heavy and hurtful they fall hard upon the spirit, crashing down on feelings, calling forth tears, knocking years off a man's life, causing strife. Words that lay silent on paper, yet rape the senses with their abuse. So what's the use? Words that never miss their mark, that are aimed at the heart, to hurt hard. Don't call him nigger, don't call me fag, or cracker, or beaner, or punk, or fag hag. That's not my name. So let's stop this hate game of separation and fear. No matter the color, no matter the way, no matter the God I have need of today, I celebrate differences formed at our birth. I honor and respect all for their worth as humans. So don't call me whitey, or freak, or au fait. Cut that shit out. I don't play it that way. I ain't no boy. I'm a man who believes it's how you perceive the soul of your brother, who's just like another. So take a step towards real freedom and give it up. Give it up. Give it up. Come out, lay down your words and come out with your arms open and stop your moping about what you were born. Because baby, we're all beautiful. Peace.
Yeah.
This is called Memories of 1969. I can feel the cool breeze of the Potomac on my neck while walking up Wisconsin Avenue. I can hear the laughter from the pub. I can smell the dogwoods in my mind, feel the rub of the thyme. Taste the long, languid boys with hair down to there, down to where. Matching Afghan hounds, bell-bottoms and beads, love and peace abounds. Time stood still, the shrill of war, the march on the hill, the opening eye, the crack of the door, the sound of the time, 1969. I'm 17 and high on everything. The color purple accents everything. Hot pants and midriff tops, platforms and bangle bracelets, sun blonde hair and lip gloss, top hats and daisies. The oozy scent of patchouli oils the air and prepares the senses for love, while beautiful boys like Lally and Ed, both barefoot and lovely, read poems by the armful till sunrise above. tripping on acid and smoking the boo, lost in a daydream, wondering who we might be. 1969, and the world opened like a lotus before my eyes. It's called Blowjob, and it's dedicated to everybody who ever gave one. It was a brief moment in time that I have forgotten so long ago. The salty taste of it, the musty smell, the glance of my head bobbing up and down in the mirror, the sound my mouth made while trying to breathe and swallow, at the same time worrying what would happen when he finished. Would I choke? Would he joke about it to the others? And when the moment came, he did, but I didn't. Men are such pricks sometimes. This is a letter to Madonna that I wrote in 1985. Letter to Madonna, 1985. Miss Madonna Ciccone, Hollywood, California. Mr. Bobby Miller, New York City. June 12, 1985. Dear Miss Ciccone, it has come to my attention that sometimes people get confused. They mistakenly think that certain items of clothing are acceptable to wear in public, when in actuality, those particular garments are really only meant to be worn in the privacy of their homes. Perhaps you do not realize that stage wear means exactly that, to be worn on stage. Perhaps as your career develops, you might consider hiring a fashion stylist to help you with these most important decisions. As one of the greatest first ladies in history, Jacqueline Kennedy, once said, what we wear can not only set a valuable standard for others, but reflects a social history and time as well. Perhaps it is not your intention to look as though you forgot your dress and left home in your undergarments, but I would be rather amiss not to inform you that it is precisely the appearance you present. So if you please, in the future, take a second look at yourself in the mirror before you head out into the public's discerning gaze. This may help to prevent you from further humiliation. I share this with you not as a criticism, but rather as sound advice to a youngish girl who seems to have lost her wits about her appearance. I only wish that you might discover the many stylish and respectable fashions available today as to fit in better with the other young people of your generation. I wish you only success in your endeavor to become America's next pop idol. Oh, and merely as an afterthought, perhaps hiring a good hairdresser rather than doing it yourself might be of some help to you as well. Sincerely, Mr. B. Miller, New York City.
Oh, too bad.
And this last piece that I'm going to do is called Kentland, Maryland, 1967. My best friend in 7th grade was a boy named Matt Bird. We met on the first day of school. He seemed as out of place as I did. A little pudgy, but cute, and with a funny sense of humor. I liked him right away. We were a real contrast. His dark hair and big brown eyes were accented by good skin and a dark natural beauty mark on his cheek. I wore long, full bangs combed over my eyebrows into my eyes and brushed peroxide into them to bleach them until the invention of Sun-In. Matt came from an upper-middle-class home with a hard-working father who owned and ran 2 filling stations. His mom kept house and raised 2 sons. Matt was the youngest at 14 and was just discovering his libido. I was 15 and ready to rumba. It was often stormy at my house with 3 boys, a working mom and dad, and barely enough to go around with bill collectors at the door. I was only home long enough to eat, sleep, and change clothes. I hardly ever asked for money because we rarely had any extra. Instead, my parents were generous with a leniency towards curfews, and they seemed to trust in my independent attitude. The times were a-changing, and everyone along with them. Matt's parents were like most and were cautious about who his friends were. I tried to seem a safe enough associate with my Eddie Haskell-like compliments, such as how nice his mom's hair looked or how particularly wonderful I thought the China pattern was. This did nothing to change their strict curfew of 10 p.m. on school nights and midnight on the weekends. That was the summer Matt got his learner's permit, and with me as a licensed driver, he was able to borrow his mom's car. a big 1965 Buick. It was built for comfort. We'd leave Mac's house around 7 in the evening and not have to return till midnight. Once after we'd gotten fake IDs to get into the bars and had too much to drink, we had a minor fender bender with some older girl and her friends who berated us for being careless with Daddy's car. Mac parked the car on the street that night instead of the family garage and swore the next morning that someone had sideswiped the car during the night. He got off scot-free. Due to Mac's curfew, we'd have to leave the nightclub just as people were starting to arrive. Was I never to see nightlife at its full effect? One night I refused to leave to make the curfew. Mac demanded I head for the car. I said if I couldn't stay and see what went on with all these people, then I'd rather just die. He could go if he wanted, but I was staying. Mac took a stand for all rebels in that moment and decided to stay out past his curfew. And that night changed our lives forever. We had never seen the likes of these people before. Drag queens, bull dykes, hustlers, sailors and Marines, conservative Washington lawyers, and government workers all mixed up together. We heard a new language filled with terms of endearment and catchphrases that entertained and educated us both. We were suddenly Miss Thing and Miss Fit. We were girl men. Our walk changed to a slow prance, lips always pursed. Everything took on a new and deeper meaning. Unafraid of the gender bend and ready for anything, I found my new form of self-expression heady and wanted to share it with everyone I met. It somehow seemed natural to me. Ever since Terry Spelta's Halloween costume party, when I sewed up my mother's old ruffled kitchen curtains into a dance hall dress and went as Miss Kitty from Dodge City on Gunsmoke. And Terry's grandma's friend said, I was so pretty, I should just get that thing cut off and be a girl.
Usually we open with this poem. This piece is called Slot Machine. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Every couple of weeks he takes his metal detector out to the national park. Hikes up to the big chasm that separates us and them, which the founding mothers and fathers did not envision, which nobody thought would happen. Wonder how it happened. Wonder how it happened. How'd the rich get that rich? How'd the poor get that poor? How did everybody get so murderous? How did everybody get so ready to kill over the stupidest shit? Cash.
Cash.
Quarters.
Quarters. Quarters.
Gotta do the laundry, he says.
Taking the car,
He says, gets on the highway.
Lighted like a landing strip. Lighted like a landing strip.
The slate of darkness scribbled on with a neon pen.
Somebody's cartoon car flying through dark digital backyards, flying through banks' collapsed door, flying through bankrupt economies and emptified ghetto streets made morbid by gut reaction of kids backed by gap, not by
first
gold,
years
not
of
by
21st
God.
century, he comes to a
Slot machine, cash,
cash machine,
cash,
cash. Who
cash.
knows where his heart is?
His heart is
was
in a
ripped
bus
out and
station
buried in a
locker.
mattress stuffed
His
with
heart
cash.
remains.
He guesses. Every couple of weeks he takes his metal detector out to the national park.
He knows
Hikes up to
religion is
the
not
big
the
chasm
solution.
that
Every
separates
couple
us
of
and
minutes,
them,
postal
which the
worker
founding mothers and
massacre,
fathers did
slaughtering
not
law firms,
envision,
courtrooms,
which
where does it
nobody
end?
thought
How
would
does it happen?
happen.
Wonder how it happened. Wonder how it happened. How the rich get that rich. How the poor get that poor. How did everybody get so murderous? How did everybody get so ready to kill over the stupidest shit?
He thinks it must come down to
He
cash.
thinks it must come down to cash.
Must be everything comes
Must
down
be
to
everything
cash.
comes down to cash.
In this country anyway.
Cash.
In this country
Cash.
anyway.
Everything comes down to this.
To avoid misery,
Cash.
pulls into the parking lot, lots of money in his pocket, gets a drink, drinks it,
drinks it,
orders go in,
orders
the
go
slot
in, the slot
and the
machine, gets a drink, drinks it, drinks it, and the quarters go in the slot machine.
Cash.
Orange, cherry, lemon, cherry, lemon, cherry, lemon, cherry, lemon, cherry, lemon, cherry, cherry blank, orange 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 cherry cherry, orange cherry lemon, blank, cherry, orange lemon blank, cherry blank, cherry, orange lemon blank, cherry, orange lemon, cherry, orange lemon, cherry, orange lemon, cherry blank, cherry, cherry blank, cherry, orange lemon, 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 cherry, orange, cherry, cash.
He took the day off work so he could be with his friends,
Sammy and Davis, and ride around Telluride and ride around Vegas. He says he wants to live
a life free of boredom, a life free of pain.
Says this the U.S. and there's money everywhere.
In the desert hills, in the darkest bar, in the deepest casket, in the poorest excuse, in the flat expression, in the fabrication, in the sliding lane, in the Sam's hotel.
I'm going to the store, he says, taking the car, ignoring the index of economic indicators and the statistics that tell me I'm poor. I'm going to store. I'm going to store. I'm going to store. Isn't that what money's for?
Yeah.
Continuing on his economic theme, it's a poem about what my former economics professor. I had to take his economics class when I went back to that BA that Bob was talking about. So I didn't get much out of the economics class, but I did get this poem out of it. It's called Matt Kahn's Email. Matt Kahn was my professor. Yeah. Okay. Message I sent to Matt Kahn's email day before yesterday, day before I died of underachievement,
day before I
allocated
dropped out.
Efficiency.
What is the best day before I slit my head with a cursor?
Chaser.
Combination of goods.
Day before I chant down
Scarsdale, Babylon. Scarcity.
Choice.
Scarcity.
Choice.
Day before I said, okay, this is the best combination.
Where the curve flat.
Where the straight bends right. You know my name.
Cuts through the low point of the
right. You know my name is produced with the fewest inputs.
At a marginal cost of less is more than.
More is better than less.
And I say it is, and he says, yes, yes. Look at the graph. No calculus?
No.
Where this meets this?
No.
More is better than less?
No. I say, oh, see, he says this curves out this way, and I say, I guess I see how this works. More is better than less, he says, like an equation. No algebra, no calculus.
When marginal utility x equals declines, the more one consumes.
But you have to think like this.
More is better than less. More is better than less. And the paradox of value is that that which is unnecessary is worth much more.
Like life is idolized.
Life is everywhere.
And life is cheap, right? Yeah, life is cheap. Statistics on the production of dead bodies in the United States.
I question why. I send him email and he says he knows. He says he can graph it. He says the treatment of violence is not yet profitable.
You know why?
Incentives.
Incentives. Two things to remember. Supply and demand. Supply and demand.
And you always substitute away from the more expensive. Why? Away from the valuable. Why? Elasticity equals
don't you want a percent change over no, percent change over no, percent change over no.
I know I have sent email and getting this reply. Labor.
Capital.
Labor.
Capital. Numerator, denominator, num, dominator, sum.
Flip this over. Multiply by the square root of everything produced by a nation in a year.
It's a production function. See what I mean?
Demand is otherwise. S.
That's Latin.
Inelastic, that is.
Domination.
Advantage.
Absolute.
Domination. Advantage.
Absolute.
When percent change Q.
You'll see it.
When percent change
Q. You'll get it.
When percent change Q is less than
command send 1, then demand it does not change. Demand it does not change. Demand it does not change. Because there is no substitute. Don't leave me a message there, comma, leave me a message here.
John
the optimal demand. Is there
John
really more
Stuart Mill.
scarcity?
John
Counterfactuals. What if
John
that's never
Stuart
occurred?
Mill.
Expectations
John
will be
Maynard
rational,
Keynes.
and people
John
will get
Maynard
around policy,
Keynes.
and people
John
will compile
Maynard
statistics,
Keynes.
and people
John
will become
Maynard
statistics.
Keynes.
See what I mean? As long as the property rights are well defined, it will not become eventually vertical, right? Don't leave me a message there, comma, leave me a message here, because I'm not reachable.
I'm not real.
One more question.
See me later.
Where is there a demand curve for this?
It's out there.
Way out there.
Which way does it slope?
It slopes to the left.
It slopes to the right. It slopes to the horizon.
More. Maybe a crescendo of numbered curves and an everlasting calculation is better.
Spend speeding down the digital highway looking at the digital stars than less. More.
Happy vertical demand, save at any price.
Is better. Wait. do better than this. We can do better than this. All right. See what I mean?
Sure.
Okay, ready?
See what I mean? As long as the property rights are well defined, it will not become
eventually vertical,
right? Don't leave me a message there. Come on, leave me a message here, because I'm not reachable.
I'm not real.
One more question.
See me later.
Where is there a demand curve for this? It's out there.
Way out there.
Which way does it slope?
It slopes to the left.
It slopes to the right.
It slopes to the horizon. More.
Maybe a crescendo of numbered curves and an everlasting calculation
is better spent speeding down the digital highway, looking at the digital stars,
than less. More vertical demand, same at any price,
is better. When do you work? When do you not work?
Than less. More, half the income, more violence is better.
Change input, change output,
than less. More difficult than I thought, or maybe it's just that less is better than more.
Label the axes: price, quantity,
income, consumption,
death,
violence.
Less is better than more.
Sometimes,
Sometimes
as you know,
hits me. Hi, it's me, Emily XYZ. The X stands for X junkie. The Y is for yes. Z equals the unknown.
Awesome.
Dispense with me. Okay, so this poem, does anyone know who Frank Sinatra was? I know, it's bad, isn't it? It's bad, isn't it? So, I was always a huge Sinatra fan, but he's, no, you know, you'll get the picture. Yeah? The bars close and Sinatra walks out. Just a man in a hat and a trench coat. A standing ovation always follows. He is a terminal delinquent to the
incredible
bad
entertainer,
a temper
inspiration
over
to
3 generations. Age has not mellowed, nor time sweetened him. He is the greatest of them all.
He is the living embodiment of the fine tradition of macho American overkill.
He is the last man I want to
sleep
applaud.
with.
The opposite of Anti-Warhol is Frank Sinatra. Irredeemably corny, violent, heavy-handed, and horny. He is all, he is nothing at all. You cannot make jokes about Frank Sinatra.
Some say he sings like a dream and gives voice to emotions most men can't even admit to. They tie up the heart or break it in
my first wife. Some say he speaks for men, men unable to speak, unfortunate men of the 20th century, trapped in ridiculous cages, cages they never imagined, cages of their own making. Some say he belongs in prison, him and his mob connections. You know what they say, but nothing was proven. In the 50s, his cloven hooves marked up many a bandstand. Critics said, quit, hit it.
Who does he think he is? Overly sensitive, split personality, skitsy, scary, chilly Rizzo, alcohol content, rat pack, Biggie music hall, Jimmy Van Heusen, Johnny Mercer, Harold Marlin, Jimmy Stein, Sandy Conn, Cole Porter, Toots Shore.
He likes it when people call him a class act. It confirms his own opinion.
If he is misunderstood, it is because he is an asshole. Your
fabulous face
always brings me every charter.
Don't
say it. Laugh.
Got a telegram from Sinatra. Here's what it said.
Your information stinks, lady. Broads always think they know best. Right, don't talk to me, baby. You're not in my league, not in my league. Where'd you get that information? You're a leech man. You're a parasite just like the rest of them. Get it?
The way you sip your tea.
See? You,
the memory of all that.
You know what that was. Don't you be laying down for that $2 or you'll like that stenchy smell is coming from her. I don't want to talk to you. You go home and take a bath. Just get the hell out of here, baby. You're nothing but a tramp.
The way you haunt my dreams.